This exhibition is pretty much drawn from the Belle Époque, although its antecedents are really from the French Revolution. The exhibition really is about women and their lives and how their lives came to be rather miserable in the 19th century. There was not much freedom, they didn't get much education. They were just considered fit to be just wives and mothers, and the rest of society was run by men. So by the time we get to this period, women were kind of desperate. And that's sort of what interested us, was what they did with their desperation. And what they did, what many women did, was to take morphine. And then one of the things that women were actually free to do was they were free to become prostitutes. So they did have freedom for that. But of course it led to a lot of misery and agony. One of the reasons we did the show is really because of the one print by Grasset called the Morphinomane, the morphine addict. It's just the most startling print of the period, really equal to Munch's Scream. It's just a shocking print showing a sort of a deranged woman, young woman with flowing black hair, injecting her thigh with morphine, with a needle. And it's done in a very Japanese manner. It's very flat. There's really only 3 or 4 colors. It's very Japanese looking. But there she is, and the whole idea was what happened in France that women were injecting themselves with morphine in the 1890s. And then when we realized that there were many women taking morphine, we had the show and we thought, well, there's another element as well. There are women also who just were very prim and proper taking tea. So it was the sort of the extremes of what women were doing. And the women in our show is by Mary Cassatt, the American expatriate. And the woman she depicts is having tea, but she looks a little bored. Like, even though she could probably do what she wanted, there were many things she couldn't do. Even if she was able to afford a pleasant lifestyle, she still couldn't do much.
It's a 12-part series by Albert Bénard, and it's called The Woman. And it takes an image of archetypal woman through various stages of life, from childbirth to marriage to love, to death of child, to the inevitable prostitution, suicide, and at the end, this old, naked, skeletal woman is offering up her heart as a sort of sacrifice. Albert Bénard also did the Morphinomane, which is one of several images in the exhibition of women taking morphine. And this particular Bénard print, it's 2 very middle-class women taking morphine, as opposed to the sort of desperate prostitute injecting morphine herself. These 2 women would have been more likely to be found in a parlor where they were paid to have themselves injected. It was legal and very pervasive. Morphine, the use of morphine was not outlawed until, I believe, 1914.
It impacted Toulouse-Lautrec the way it impacted all of them, really. I mean, you suddenly, instead of seeing rather academic interpretations of a landscape or a person or an idealized kind of figure, suddenly things are just right in your face. And, you know, they're flat, they're colorful, they're kind of shocking.
The invention of chromolithography and the ability to produce large numbers of very colorful prints, high quality color prints, is very much a hallmark of this period, but also the influence of Japanese prints and colored woodblock prints on French art of this time in general is also very much in the picture, as well as a kind of Art Nouveau style that you'll see a lot of these amazing sort of decorative wavy lines and large areas of sort of serpentine color patterns characterize the prints of this period.
There's the defer image of a woman in a poppy. It's just such like a stoned image. In fact, a lot of images from the 1960s from the LSD posters and stuff really derive from this period, because there's some pretty far out images of women just being enveloped in a cloud of opium and a flower and just being captured by the drug. They're very, very strange and beautiful images.
Sadayako was a Japanese actress who toured with her husband's theater company and was the first woman to be on stage in Japan, where women were not suitable for stage performance. And she performed in Paris at the behest of Loie Fuller, another performer known for her dancing and her sort of voluminous drapes that she would dance with these amazing costumes on stage. And there are these connections between them where one really helped the career of the other. There's an entire sort of loosely defined section in the exhibition on the Paris nightlife. We have stage performers, theater demi-monde. The site of the first striptease is in one of the prints. The large ballrooms that were in Paris at the time, and the performances in the circus and other sorts of nightlife.
There's a beautiful image in the show by an artist called Henri Martin. It's a very mysterious and evocative image of a woman with very long hair wearing a crown of thorns. She's a Christ figure, and it's among the most unusual images in the whole show, and also just in art history. It's very rare to see an image of a woman as a Christ, a martyr image. And I like the idea of showing her that way with her all the suffering that women went through. It seems to tie a lot together in the show, that to show the suffering of women, she could suffer just like Christ.